you a fan of the Dragon Ball Super card game? If so, check out QueenCityGaming.com for sealed product, singles, and more. Just use promo code MafubaJar-10 to save 10% off your order every time.
Welcome back to Mafuba Jar. We've been so waiting for another awesome deck profile, and today I'm going to be profiling for you guys my Kefla deck. Now, this Kefla leader is actually one of the 5 new leaders that we got from the Ultimate Box, and she's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at her here. So her auto is on her unawakened side. When this card attacks a leader card, you may choose one universe 6 in your hand, place it in your drop area. If you do so, draw 2 cards. So it's similar to the Frieza leader that we got in the Tournament of Power set, except for universe 6. So that's pretty cool. And when your life's at 4 or less, you untap 2 energy, and you switch this card to active mode. And then we get Explosive Power Kefla. Of course, the auto, when she attacks, draw a card. Yada yada yada, same thing. Now her activate main's pretty interesting. You choose one universe 6 in your hand, place it in a drop area, so it's similar cost to the other one. And you choose this card or one of your universe 6 battle cards. It gains 5,000 power and double strike for the duration of the turn. So this awakened side is similar to the Champa that we got in set 1, except this only applies to universe 6, but personally I feel this is a much stronger layer than Champa. That's just my opinion though. In that aspect, it's a bit stronger. So, pretty interesting leader. I definitely have been having a lot of fun with this deck when I've been playing it around. And let's go ahead and see what makes this deck tick. So first off here, have 4 copies of Intensifying Power Trunks. Now this is probably one of the best red cards that we have gotten from set 4, and possibly one of the best red cards we have to date. So it's a 1-drop, and the auto is when this card attacks, you may choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand. If you do so, this card gains 10,000 power and critical for the duration of the turn. So it's a way to help you awaken, and it's critical. So that's really cool. Now I don't run the 1-drop Kaba in this, mainly because it's not universe 6, unfortunately. So yeah, that makes me sad a little bit. Plus this deck is pretty tight for room as it is. So I personally didn't see much of a reason to run that Kaba. But again, that's just me. If you guys want to put in both Trunks and Kaba, you go right ahead. That's perfectly fine. Alright. And next up here, I run 4 copies of Chance Act Trunks. Because now we can play Chance Act Trunks on turn 2, which is amazing. So he's evolved 2 red on top of a Trunks GT, which this is. So pretty much plays on your first turn, don't attack, and then you on your next turn, since you have 2 energy, you put down Chance Act Trunks, and he gets attack battle cards are in active mode, which is kind of cool, but you really don't use it for that. You use it for his auto, which is completely busted. When the auto is when you play this card, choose up to 1 battle card from your hand with a power of 1500 or less and play it. It can be any card, any color, as long as it's 15 power or less. And we have many targets for that. But this is the one I definitely want to play here the most. And that's going to be 4 copies of Saiyan Teamwork Kaba. Now, this is the only green card I run. I don't run the whole veggie package. I tried it, and it was conflicting. Because for the Kefla deck to work, you want as much red as possible. But this card's just too good not to run because it helps fill up your board like crazy. So that's why I'm using this off Chain Attack Trunks. So the permanent is while this card's in play in your battle area, you decrease the energy cost and the specified green cost of Kefla and Kale by 1. So it reduces all costs of Keflas and Kales, but it only gets rid of green specific costs as well. So it doesn't get rid of red specific cost. That would have been busted. So the other is when you play this card, you look at the top 10 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 Kefla or Kale, and add it to your hand. If the chosen card was Kefla, you can play it instead. So yeah, it can be any Kefla, any color, any energy cost. So that was just blowing your mind busted, especially with the Tournament of Power that came out. We have so many like amazing Kefla cards we can play off that now. Alright, and I'll get into the Kefla targets in a minute, but I just want to focus on the Kales here for the moment. We have 3 copies of Sister Attack Sand Kale. Now, this is something we can search with Kaba, and it's a 2 cost, but only 1 of the specified costs is red. So if we have this Kaba out, we can't play this for only 1 red energy, which is pretty cool. And if this card attacks, there's another Universe 6 in your battle area, you draw a card, and this card gains 5,000 for the duration of the turn. And we do run the Patara Kefla engine in here, so this is definitely a cheap way to get a KO target out for that. But an even cheaper Kale target is going to be 3 copies of Dauntless Kale. Now, this is a 5,000 blocker, and if Khalifa is in your battle or leader area, you can play this card for free. And we have plenty of Khalifa cards that we can play in a battle area. So, more often than not, you'll be getting this out for free and get a cheap Khalifa, and before you know it, you'll have everything you need to bring out the Busted Kale, which is not Busted Kale, Busted Kefla. There we go, man, I'm crossing up my words here. The Busted Yudhipatara Kefla in this deck. Next up, if you guys want to go over the Super Combo card, Union Attack Botsuma Magetta. It's a Universe 6 Super Combo card that you can activate at 5 life, which is really cool because we want to keep drawing our cards. That's very, very important. And next up here is going to be a little bit of a strange ending, but it's been working out very well for me. I'm going to be playing 3 copies of Dimension Support Trunks, along with 3 copies of the Vanilla 1-Drop Khalifa. Now, these two work together really, really well. So let me go ahead and read the Trunks here first. So he's an Overwhelm 3, you tap 1 energy, and he adds when you play this card using Overwhelm, choose up to 1 skillless battle card with an energy cost of 2 or less from your deck and play it. Then shuffle your deck, then this card then gains critical for the duration of the turn. So this could be a critical hitter for the turn, not to mention it's a way to get out a target you need for your Kefla fusion. So it's a cheap card in general for Kefla, and not to mention it can be useful for critical as well. And if you're, in case you're in a weird situation to where you're not able to get out Kefla at all, this is a Universe 6 card, and it works with this, giving it 5,000 double strike. So play this with this, have the leader give this double strike, and then it becomes a 15 double critical attacker, which is really, really good. So that's kind of a backup thing you could do in case you're not able to get your Kefla going at all. So no, yeah. In general, though, if you end up opening with this, you could either just play it down as just a cheap Khalifa to get out your Kefla, or just pitch it for your Unawakened Kefla skill to draw 2 cards. Alright, gonna keep going with the Khalifa hype train with 4 copies of Bold Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa. Now, this is gonna be your main target for Saiyan Team Merkaba. This is the card that you want to get with that. Because the auto is, when you play this card, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 Universe 6 with 15,000 power or less, and play it, then shuffle your deck. Because we have some pretty good cards that meet that criteria. For example, the Sister Attack Kale. Technically, this does too, but let's face it, you don't want to play this off of Khalifa. You want to get Kales out. Or, you can also get out these Impeccable Super Saiyan combos, which are pretty good. Pretty good. Permanent, this card can attack cards in active mode, and your opponent cannot activate counter against this card's attack. So that's really, really cool right there. So when this leader is awakened, you can choose to give him double strike, and your opponent cannot negate that. So that's really, really awesome. And his auto is when this card attacks, if your leader card is a red Saiyan, which Kefla is, it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So you're already going to be boosting this with this card right here. And not to mention it boosts itself as well. So that's really, really awesome. You can make him an easily 25 double striker that your opponent can't negate. So he's really good for ending the game. And the last Khalifa card I'm going to be running in this deck is going to be 3 Sister Attack Saiyan Khalifa. This is just another way to help myself awaken a little bit. Because you can play this off either the Bold Khalifa, which again, you really want to hit a Kale with this, or the Kaba, but this isn't too bad to hit either. Or if you whiff on the Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa, you still have a chance to hit this Khalifa as well. And she's not bad. If your leader card's a red Saiyan, you choose 1 card you left, add to your hand, she gains 5,000 double strike for the duration of the turn. She's kind of like a bigger version of the 1-drop Kaba, except she's a Universe 6 card, so she works with the pitching and drawing too. And it's still a way to help yourself awaken. And it's just more targets in general. So that's why I run this. I don't use it often, but it has come in handy for me a few times here and there. And next up here, probably one of the best red cards in the game right now is going to be 3 copies of Foreseeing Hit. This card's got double strike. And when you play this card from your hand, your opponent reveals their hand, choose up to 2 battle cards with 35,000 or less power and from their hand, set them to the warp. the end of your opponent's next turn, return all the cards from the warp sent there to the skill. So not only do you get to look at your opponent's hand, which gives you so much advantage, you send 2 of their battle cards to the warp. So ideally, you're going to be sending 2 of their super combo cards to the warp, which is devastating. Not to mention, you could scan your opponent's hand to see if there's any negates or stuff you need to watch out for. So really, really awesome there. And for the Kefla lineup, we're going to be running 3 copies of Saiyan Onslaught Kefla. I did try 4 of this originally. I felt it was too bricky because I was getting this card too early and I couldn't hold on to it. I just ended up having to pitch it for the Kefla draw or just using it as energy, which I don't want to do. So I feel 3 for me has been working perfectly. So she's a 5-drop, but a Unipatara is 3 red on top of any Kale or Khalifa. So the color of the Kale and Khalifa does not matter. So I think that's pretty cool. And again, I did try to Salad Engine with that originally, but it just wasn't working for me. So it has Deflect, which is pretty good. Dual Attack, which is also very good. And the Auto is amazing as well. When this card is played using Unipatara or attacks, you draw a card and this card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So bringing it out with Unipatara already makes this a 30k, and you draw a card. The first time you attack, it gains another 5, and it gets to 35, and you draw a card again, and another time you're gonna draw another card, and it gets to 40k. And that's nothing. This is gonna be your main target for your Awakened Kefla leader to give double strike to. So we're gonna start off as a 30k dual attack double strike that draws cards when it attacks. Like, oh my god, it's amazing. Just so amazing. And for our extra cards here, nothing too special. We could be running 2 copies of Strategies of Universe 7. It gives all of your red sands barrier until the end of your opponent's next turn. So, something that I like to do, I don't get to do it often, but a neat thing to do is on your first turn, if you have 2 of these cards, you just play this card right here and activate Strategies of Universe 7, so they can't pop this card. So it guarantees you more towards a chain attack Trunks play next turn. Or, of course, you can play it to when you have a full field and you don't want your opponent to, like, pop cards with, like, certain things or anything like that. And, yeah, just really, really, really awesome there. Why did I put that at the bottom? I don't know. And last up, I run 4 copies of Unending Awakening just because I love this combo. I love this negate card so much. You negate the attack, and your red Saiyan leader will gain 5,000 attack for the duration of the turn. I did try Topo in this deck, but I never once found myself at a point to where I had 2 energy to spare. Like, I was only ever, like, had 1 energy untapped because of how the deck plays. So, the Topo wasn't working for me, but if you want to play Topo, go right ahead. Topo is an amazing card. It's just, again, for me personally, it wasn't doing all that well. And one more thing, I do not run the Dash Pack Kefla in here, mainly because with how this card draws, I'm never at a point where I have 4 cards or less, unless I'm playing Cell. So, if you want to sideboard the Dash Pack Kefla, if against like a Cell matchup or something like that, go for it, because the Dash Pack's amazing when you pull it off. It's a 4-drop, double strike, and if you have 4 cards or less, it's essentially a dual attack, so that's really, really cool. So, that does it for my Kefla deck profile. It's a really, really fun deck. I recommend you guys building it if you can. It's super fun. So if you guys enjoyed this deck profile, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And with that, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and you have all been released.